Start screen here, and I'm going to be demoing my experimental renoise tool, LibGen, or LibGen, if you like to mispronounce things. It stands for library generation, and the concept behind this tool is to take a source phrase and turn it into a library of chops and phrases that you can deploy easily to construct a song. And the way that it does this is by using an intelligent tagging or labeling system to call certain functions to generate certain phrases and how to construct those phrases. So to get started, you need a source phrase. In my case, it's the think break. And the first function is going to be the cycle function. And the way to think of this function is kind of like inverting your backbeat and downbeat, or downbeat and backbeat. And so I'm going to pick my main instruments with this, my kick and my snare. And in this case, only the strong snares rather than the ghost snares or the lighter ones. Okay, so save those labels. Then actually the first function here, copy and modify phrases, is not going to use the labels at all. All it does is take your main source phrase and copy and reduce it to note divisions. So let's hit that button and I'll just demo it. So for example, we heard the whole think break before, but if you just want the first half, or maybe second half, you'll have that available now. And then also down here, you can kind of see that we're chopping down to really small phrases. So really good for shuffles, really good for note repeats, and kind of just mixing and matching pieces of the source phrase without having to move the actual slices around at all. All right, so now we're going to go back to phrase one because some of the functions are a little bit finicky if you're not on phrase one. So I always like to be on phrase one and my source instrument. So modify phrases with labels. This is going to take that label data and cycle the phrases, cycle the kit pieces as expected. So you can see we have perm 6 up here. That means permutation 6, and the original source phrase is phrase 2. So we have our snare, C4OE here. It's one of the later snares. And then C401 is our original kick, the one that started. And now if we go to perm 5 instead, you can see we have C4OE, but rather than 01, it's 05. And if we go over here, 01 is nowhere to be found, and it should just be our two snares. So out of a single kind of division of our original phrase, we're able to move instrument or kit instruments around and get really, really tight sounding, but new varied phrases. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to label slices again just to check out roll. So imagine that whatever's clicked as roll is going to be your strong hand or your left hand on a drum kit. And then you need a comparably labeled instrument with a ghost note, and it'll take those pairs and create new phrases out of them using volume curves like linear, exponential, etc. And also apply effects at separate note divisions. So that is to say, this is very computationally expensive. This is a cheap computer I'm on, $250, purchased last year. And even it kind of chugs with only one. So I'm just going to hit save labels. If you have a less powerful machine, you might see a pop-up that says something to the effect of, we're hanging here, or there's a problem. Just hit no if you want to. You don't want to stop the process. You just want to keep going. So just hit no. It'll eventually get through. All right. So we're gonna hit make rollers, but first thing we're gonna do, make sure we're back on phrase one again, and we're gonna hit make rollers. Like I said, it's gonna take a few seconds. Probably gonna hear the fan speed kick up while it's thinking. Okay, it's created our patterns and applied them to new instruments. So it created a whole bunch of new instruments. You'll notice these are broken out by note division. I'm going to go to 1/12 because I kind of like the way that that sounds the most. All right, so we have our basic, pairing of 2 snares, and then double the length, in case you wanted to do something there. But here's the first one that actually means anything. So this is linear and linear down. So now each of these after these are going to have effects applied. So upshift, downshift, sample offset, staccato, really good for helicopter sounding effects, backwards, and then my favorite, reversal, which alternates between backwards and forwards. So then each of these after that, now we're going to inverse this. So that means going up in volume, so rolling up, and all the same effects. We go all the way down at the bottom here just to see some of the later ones. So you can see we have inverse exponential backwards. So you'll notice that the volume here is 20, 36, 55, and then 80 rather than 20, 40, 60, 80. And gives you a totally different nuanced way of using your snare rolls or hi-hat rolls or kick rolls, whatever they are. So you could kind of emulate the kind of volume dynamics of a human player. Okay, so those are our rolls, and you get everything from half beat notes to or half measure notes all the way up to 1/64. So you could get some ratchets in there. For lots of variety. All right, final one is going to be our shuffle, and this works also on a pairing system. So you'll see that we have a kick pair with a ghost note, snare with a ghost note down here, and then a hi-hat with a ghost note. This is less computationally expensive. It's only going to fill up one new instrument, so just make sure you're back on your original source instrument and phrase 1, and then we're going to make our shuffles. Okay, shuffles created successfully. Now, so these are kind of stock patterns. And what they're going to be doing is alternating those different instruments. So 9B, there should be, oh, not on this one. Okay, so let's just see what that sounds like. We also have this at halftime, dotted. And it's not just one shuffle pattern, it's a whole bunch of different ones. So we even have kick and hi-hat, kick and snare. So lots of variety going on there. All right, so those are our shuffles, those are all our phrases, but you're like, wow, this is a lot. How do I even know where everything is? Well, I added this show phrases button, and depending on what instrument you're on, it'll show you all the phrases that you've made. So, let's say we wanted syncopated ghost 1/6, we could just go off that phrase number and our instrument number and not have to kind of get into the weeds, so to speak. So that one would be this. Okay, so now that we have all of these, what do you do with them? Well, let's go over into the pattern editor. And one thing I'm not sure everybody knows is that you could actually simply call an instrument phrase by just using the Z effect. So 01 is going to be our first phrase. And let's see what that sounds like. All right, so let's add in a different instrument. Actually, let's go to our shuffles and let's add one of those. Let's add that one we just had, right? And then let's finish off with, stay on the main instrument, but go to, show phrases here, somewhere down the bottom. What was it, perm 5? No. Phrase 16. Yeah, I think that's the snare. Oh no, 15. Yeah. Okay, here we go. And I'm gonna loop this so we don't go into the next territory. Alright, say we don't like it. We could just start playing around. That's too one. And let's add some of these snare rolls that we have. So let's get something moderately fast. 09. So let's change our instrument. 09. And let's go 10. Or no, actually one of the basic ones. So that would be 4. See, since we're already into effects now, we could go up and down. Let's try our staccato. Oh, no, that's sample offset. So 8. There you go. Got our little helicopter noise. So you see, this gives you access to a lot of flexibility in just making breakbeats. And yeah, ultimately it's a lot of fun. So let's just get one more in. I think this will be good. So that's LibGen, my experimental renoise tool. I don't think I'm going to be doing any more work on it, but I will listen to some initial feedback. I'm going to be posting it in both the Tracker Corps and Renoise Discords. Probably not on the forum. I don't have time to spend there, so gotta use my time where I can. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any feedback, please give it to me. Also, make some cool stuff with it, and feel free to show me that too. Excited to see it.